You can start recording. Okay. So we started with an introduction to segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So might be today will be completing this, and from next lecture or maybe from next week onward, we'll be starting with the international marketing, right? So it is just an introduction to use to sensitize you guys. So STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning is the core of marketing, right? When it comes to international marketing as well, it is core of marketing. So that is why it is very essential for you to understand why this is important. Segmentation, targeting, and positioning is very, very important. So as we discussed, segmentation is the process of classifying customers into groups which share some common characteristics. So certain commonalities here, certain common features are there, right? Within each category. Say, for example, high income group, low income group, very high income group, or within the low income group, there are 2 or 3 classes are there, right? So something very common, their consumption habits are common, their demands are common, right? You see, targeting involve the targeting what we are intend to do is that we try to measure the size of each market, right? Each market attractiveness in terms of what is their buying power, right? What is their social status, which kind of products they are using, right? So targeting involves a process of evaluating each segment attractiveness, that how attractive a segment is to enter, and selecting what are more segments to enter. Then after once you evaluate the markets or segments, then every company would prefer to target 1 or 2 or 3 segments so that they are able to plan their production or product planning, for which segment they fit the best, right? And when we are saying evaluation, we look at the competition that is available. What are the substitute products, what are the competitive products or complementary products which are available in the market, which are directly or indirectly substitute to the product they are offering? So what are the threats, what are the entry barriers, right? And ultimately, after crossing all these hurdles, how much volume they will be able to generate in the long run. Positioning is arranging for a product to occupy a clear, distinctive, and reliable place relative to competing products in the minds of consumers. See, positioning, every product is perceived. We perceive something. For example, say Maggie is here or Maruti is here. We have certain kind of perception. Maybe other cars are equally good, or perhaps they may be even better cars. But the kind of distinctive place Maruti has in our mind, that is perceived over the period of time, right? Perception in the sense that we hear a lot of things from the market, from the people, peer group, friends, relatives about certain product, and ultimately something is a product is image of a product is or company is created in our minds. So how to position that product in the minds of consumers, that is called the positioning. And how this product is positioned with respect to the other products in the market or competing products in the market, right? And then is a target market. You see, a market is set of all actual and potential buyers. We have already discussed what is market. If you remember in the beginning, perhaps on the very first day, we discussed about it. What is market? And here we are talking of target market. It was a general term market, that what is a market? Right? Here, the definition is a little more specified. You see, a market is a set of all actual and potential buyers. Right? Market consists of all actual and potential buyers A target market is a group of people towards whom a firm market its goods, and the target market is, a group of people. Now, it is target market is a small part of actual market, right? Market is very large, but a target market may be a small part of it or a some part of proportion of it, towards whom a firm market its goods or services or ideas with a strategy designed to satisfy their specific needs and preferences. So here the set of consumers is specified, their needs are specified, right? And company enters into the market with a definite strategy, right? They enter into the market with certain goals, resources, with certain time frame, that within which time frame how much product they would be able to sell, how much customers they would be able to generate, how much customers they would be able to satisfy, and what would be the profitability of the company. Ultimately, profitability is key of it. You see, any marketing strategy must include a detailed or specific description of this, right? So target market must be very, very clearly defined whenever we are talking of marketing strategies. Now we are using said segmentation. So what are the advantages of segmentation? You can read certain advantages of segmentation, that why we need to do segmentation. Why can't we offer product to all? Let anybody buy. Say we enter into the market and we offer a product irrespective of segmentation. So let customer choose whether they want to buy our product or not. But what is actually the advantage of segmentation? Still companies, they go for segmentation, although there is a set of marketers or academicians, professors, researchers, those who are of opinion that no strategy is the best strategy. They are absolutely in favor that companies should not form this kind of STP strategy or something like this. They should enter into the market and let, because nobody knows actually potential of the product. Nobody knows actually the potential of a buyer. For example, a person may be a very positioned at a very average position in the company, but inherently he has so much of wealth that he can afford to buy a product. So when we look at the buying power wise, it is, it falls into the preview of the company or falls into the customer set of the company. But actually, when it comes to the designation wise, it may not, right? So many of the, researchers are there or marketers are there, those who strongly believe that there should not be, no strategy is the best strategy. That is their wording. So anyways, advantages of segmentation are the process of breaking up homogeneous markets into heterogeneous segments, right? Forces the marketer to analyze and consider both the needs of the market and the company's ability to completely serve those needs, right? So it helps companies to understand that what are their abilities, to what extent they can meet their needs. For example, if you look at Maruti is not making high-end cars. They are not able to meet the needs of high-end customers, those who are using cars like Mercedes or BMW or Bentley or Audi or something like this. For that, they had to buy another company, which is the British company, Jaguar, to meet this Tatas. They had to buy it. Maruti, they are not offering to that segment because they know that they are not technologically, or their image is not so profound to cater those segments, right? So they are meant to meet the needs of a common man, right? So every company, they have a very clear objective, that what exactly we are going to target, who are my customer, how I'm going to satisfy their needs. Second is competitors' offerings and marketing positioning must also be analyzed in this context. So the company must consider what is competitive advantages and disadvantages are, right? Helping it to clarify its own positioning strategy. So they understand who are the competitors, what they are offering, what are their strengths and weaknesses, right? How they are positioned in the minds of consumers, what consumer perceive of them, what is a segment which is vacant and there is a possibility that there is a need of a product in this particular segment, or in this positioning is needed. Here some product can be positioned, this particular position is quite vacant, and here a product can be positioned, there is a potential. And limited resources are used to the best advantage, right? So every company has a very limited resources to market the product, so they use those limited resources to the best advantage, targeted at those segments that offer the best potential. Which segments are most profitable, they utilize resources to tap those markets or those segments, right? Now, how can you make segmentation effective? Segmentation is not an easy process. If you want to make an effective segmentation, then there has to be a lot of effort put into this. You see, requirement of an effective segmentation, first of all, it should be measurable, right? We should be able to measure the size of the market, what are their purchasing power, what is their profile, who these people are. Profile means who these people are. It should be measurable. Size, their purchasing power. Purchasing power maybe in the terms of disposable income they can spare to buy those products, and profile of the segment, that who actually these people are. Accessibility or accessible segments can be effectively reached and served. That a segment should be like this, that company is able to reach them and they are being served effectively in the sense that whenever the customer needs a product, the company should be able to provide the product should be always available in the market, they should be able to serve it. There has to be enough inventories in the market that they are able to cope up with the demand. Substantial segments are large or profitable enough to serve. Now every segment has to be profitable. If the segments are not profitable, then companies may not be interested in this. Many times it happens that companies enter into a segment which initially may not be very profitable, but slowly they become very profitable. That is also this. But for that again, you need to understand that what is how much time it will take to make it, whether the company has ability to market this product, right? And for 2-3 years they may be incurring the losses. Every company in the initial years they incur certain kind of losses because market is new. Sometimes the products are new in the market, and slowly when they are able to tap the market, they are able to create their customer, and slowly they become the profitable. But the size of the market should be enough large to cover up the previous losses and generate the future profits as well. Differential segment must respond different to the different marketing mix elements and the programs, right? There should be heterogeneity within the segment as well, so that they are able to they respond different to different marketing mix, right? If there is change in product or product mix is changed, then new customers should buy it. There must be within the segment, this flexibility should be there, that company should be able to serve the same customer with modified or more modern products as well. Actionable, effective programs can be designed to attract and serve the segment, so it should be actionable as well. I mean, sometimes theoretically a segment may be very lucrative. For example, rich class is here and you want to develop a product, that you have some idea that we can sell a product, but actually that is not actionable, because you cannot reach those people, right? Reaching to those people is very difficult, right? And so your all programs may promotional programs or product or production programs, they may fail if you are not able to serve them better, if it is not actionable. So what are the bases of segmentation? So bases of segmentation are geographic. It may be nations, states, regions, or cities. In international marketing, nations does matter, right? In international marketing, this segmentation is based on nations, that which kind of product can be sold in Far East Asian countries, in Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries, right? Something like this. So sometimes, you know, if you develop a product for Middle East, now you see Middle East, if you're targeting only one country, say Saudi Arabia, then size may be not very large. But if you look at the whole Middle East, then size is quite big, right? It may include Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, you know, Saudi Arabia, UAE, you know, Bahrain, Kuwait, and all these countries where, you know, now their consumption habits are same. All their Islamic countries, their consumption habits are same, right? Their beliefs, they have some commonality in beliefs, right? So you have a sizable market there, right? So it could be based on the states. Look at in the southern states are there, so you can develop a product which is, you know, which can cater to whole of the South India, right? Similarly, a product may be there which can cater to the whole of the North India, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, Delhi, right, and some parts of even Rajasthan and so, because we ultimately share the same kind of cultural and consumption habits are also same. It could be based on even demographics, age groups, gender, family size, sorry, it is not, look at, sorry, it is family size, not common. Life cycle, where you know, you are at the young stage, you are at the maturity stage, or at the, you know, old age, or income group is also there. So segmentation could be done on psychographic could also be there. Social class, you know, segmentation, lifestyle or personality, right? Some people, these are very you know, we know that lifestyle products are there. Lifestyle products just like high branded goods, branded shirts, branded trousers, branded pants, branded clothing is here, branded shoes are there. All these are lifestyle products. Cars are there, right? And you know, they when they segment, they look at all these things: social class, lifestyle, right? Behavioral are also there. Occasions, benefits sought, user status, usage rate, and loyalty as well. So occasions, we see that on Diwali we buy a lot of things on occasions. Certain occasions are there, benefits. What kind of benefit we are looking out of it, or user status, we are heavy users or low users or occasional users, right? Usage rate, for example, how much car every day is driven by you, right? So, and loyalty, how much loyal you are to a particular brand or particular product. So these are some very common basis of segmentation. Now come to the targeting. Wait a minute. Let me look at your attendance once again. That is a state of very so when we talk about news, when we talk about environment, when we talk about this present. Have to study absolute four zero. Have to look into what I talked about earlier. Like हमारी HR की क्या position, what is the position in terms of how skilled people in internal supply of labor या मेरे को कोई भी छोटा सा तुम्हारे यहाँ से यूनिवर्सिटी से हमारे कोई डेलीगेशन आए and those people they don't speak English. Okay. Can you please speak out? 1402 Sahajbir Singh is present. 1402 Sahajbir is not present. And 1403 Hitesh not present. 1412.
Yes, sir.
1412 is present.
Yes, sir.
क्यों यार? Okay. Now, as we discussed, that targeting is the evaluating the market segment based on certain criteria. Now, what are these criteria? We need to now evaluate the market. See segment size and growth. That what is the size of the segment and at what rate this segment is growing. You see, that is used to analyze the sales, right? Growth rate, expected profitability for various segments, right? That will help us analyze the sales growth rate, expected profitability for various segments. Then segment structural effectiveness. What is structural effectiveness? Structural means what are the level of competition there? How many competitors are there? What kind of products they are offering? Considering the effect of competitors, availability of substitute products, and the power of buyers and suppliers. Okay? So, how many competitors are there? What kind of substitute or complementary products are available in the market? What is the bargaining power of the buyers and suppliers? Right. So that will tell the structural attractiveness, whether entry barriers are there, whether the industry is capital intensive or it is not very capital intensive. That because if segment is capital intensive or this product is capital intensive, then everybody cannot enter into this market. But if it is not a very capital intensive, then a lot of people can enter into the market if the profitability is high. We have seen it in perfect competition, right? Company objective and resources. Then company objective and resources also does matter. That company skills and resources related to segments and look for competitive advantage. That whether company has competitive advantage and skill base to serve these customers or serve this segments, which segment they can serve better with existing competitive advantage they have and the skill, resources, technology, experience they have, right? And that will help you understand that what is most profitable segments company should target. So we are left. We have 10 minutes more to go. Product positioning. Then is the product positioning. It is the way the product is defined by the consumers. No, when a product is positioned in the minds of consumers, then how do they perceive it? How do they define this product? On certain important attributes, the place the product occupies in the consumer's minds relative to competing products. So there are various products in the market. How a particular product is positioned in the minds of consumers, right? Which place it occupies, whether it is just an average product or it is a good product or extremely excellent product, or it is just a me too product. Me too in the sense that it is just okay available in the market, but it has no huge respect in the market, or customer base is very poor. Or for example, if I give you the case of say Maruti versus, and you look at Hyundai is here and Volkswagen is here. Now we know that Maruti is very durable, value for money. It is called the value for money. Hyundai quality product, right? It is value for money. It is a quality product. Volkswagen, how it is positioned? It is expensive. Good but expensive product. Right? What? Because it has a very high maintenance cost, right? Spare parts are very expensive and so on. So how do people perceive it? Right? What goes through the minds of the consumers? Now, if I look at this product, something is placed here, something is placed here, something is placed here, right? If I have to, say if I have to, sorry, if I create a graph like this. This is how we do actually practically we do. It is called the there is a in marketing research we teach it. When you are in marketing research, we will teach you multi-dimensional scaling. So this is we do with the help of multi-dimensional scaling is here, right? And say one of the product is positioned yes, dot points. Okay, so it is something is placed here. Say other product is placed here. Say other product is placed here. Another product is placed here. Mhm. So it is placed here or something like this, right? So something like this. So these are the different products. Say this is the Maruti, this is Hyundai, this is some other product is here, and this is right. Say this is Volkswagen, and this is a Maruti, and this is Hyundai, and this is what we call as say Honda is here, or some other products are there which are placed here or something like this, or here, whatever it is. And there could be various products in the market. How they are placed in, differently in the minds of consumers, and this is called image mapping, or we call it and then this is called the product positioning, right? And there is another term, product repositioning. Sometimes it happens that the company has a product, and now they bring in the modification in the product. So what is how the product is positioned in the minds of consumers? Now it needs to be repositioned. That improved version is here. Now it is not the same product, it is very improved version. So they sometimes need to reposition it. They upgrade the product, right? So segment is also upgraded. So what happens that they need to reposition. So product positioning is here, product repositioning is here. They spend a lot of money, research, advertising companies are there, those who play a very vital role in this, that how this product is positioned in the minds of consumers. Now then when product repositioning is required, then they design new ad campaigns are there. They design new ad campaigns to reposition, right? So with this, I just although my request is you just go through the branding, read branding, product diffusion. These are small, and product life cycle. These 2 or 3 more concepts are there, which it would be my request if you can study it yourself. And from tomorrow onwards, we will start international marketing, right? I think that if you have understood this much of marketing, that is good. And it is for those who have not done it before. Those who have done graduation with BCom, they, I believe, already know what is marketing, and they must have read this subject, right? So it was just to sensitize you, nothing more than that. It was from examination, not from examination point, but just to introduce you, right? Anyways, any questions from your side? Do you have any queries?
No, sir.
Okay. Then if you do not have any queries, then okay, fine. We will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow at what time we have class? We have class